All right, let's talk about Palantir. So the stock is down over 60% since last September. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are questioning their investment and wondering what the heck's going on, also potentially wondering if they should just cut their losses and run. Just over a year ago, this stock was flying high, and in the past 12 months, the market cap has just absolutely tanked. And one of the issues is that there's just so much noise out there about the company, so much noise and also nonsense that it's become difficult to sift through what's actually relevant and what's not. In a couple of my previous videos, I've debunked some ridiculous claims put forward by Palantir bears, suggesting that the company is nothing but a glorified consultancy, or suggesting that the US government is actually going to develop an alternative to Palantir Gotham in-house, and then Palantir is going to be out of luck, as if the US government is actually capable of developing something this complex. But then on the other side of the coin, there's also Palantir bulls that stretched the facts to meet what they wish was actually the reality. Confirmation bias at its finest. Like with this whole Ferrari Formula One thing, it's like every time the team wins a race, I see people trying to take credit on behalf of Palantir for that victory. And while I'm sure Palantir software does help and maybe even gives the team a slight competitive edge, I mean, come on, let's give some credit to the driver, to the manager, to the mechanics, and to all the other components, both hardware and software, that go into creating a winning Formula One car and a winning Formula One team. It's a bit of a stretch if you ask me. So you have all this noise and nonsense on both sides, both bull and bear. But what's real? Well, let's take a page out of Palantir's own book, because while all of the analysts and talking heads, myself included, are busy getting excited every time Alex Karp farts, the actual Palantir team is heads down busy building the product and scaling the business. They now have partnerships with every major cloud service provider, some of which have actually only recently been confirmed. They just had demo days for both Apollo and Foundry that are showcasing the scale and scope of the products that they've built. And honestly, it's really exciting because we're just starting now to see the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this company is capable of. They've also quadrupled the size of their sales team in the past 12 months. We're seeing constant announcements from Palantir about new partnerships that they've signed, and we're also seeing a lot of new clients come to light. In the spreadsheet that I'm using to track Palantir's confirmed commercial clients, we're looking at some of the biggest companies in the world in basically every single industry. And the final point, which is what really matters, is the data. And when you look at the cold hard data, which is the only thing that is truly reliable and that can cut through the noise, you can see that Palantir's revenue growth is continuing to exceed targets. Additionally, the company is in an impeccable financial position with absolutely zero debt and $2 billion in cash or cash equivalents, so they're well equipped to tackle this inflationary environment and even a potential recession that might come at some point down the road. And when you look at the free cash flow numbers, you see that Palantir is already generating positive free cash flow from operations. And so setting aside all of the accounting that happens that impacts the earnings per share bottom line, when you just look at the operations, they're generating free cash flow, and that is what really matters at this point. Not turning a profit because they're focused on growth, but having free cash flow and being able to continually finance that expansion. And so that is what I see when I try to weed out the noise and look at the bare facts. Palantir is a business that's growing, that has an exponentially expanding total addressable market, or TAM, which is excellent for the future, and where all the key metrics are trending in the right direction. And so in my opinion, the stock price is currently disconnected from the fundamentals of the underlying business, and that's why I am continuing to buy. Here's a list of all my Palantir trades since December 2020, when I first invested in the company. And you can see that it's all buys and zero sells, at price points ranging from $10 per share to all the way up to $29 per share. I'm currently at 1,375 shares, and my goal is to hit 2K shares by the end of this year, because I truly believe in the long-term future of this company. And I don't think that this short-term price action is going to matter at all in 5 years or 10 years from now, when the market cap of the company is $100 billion or $200 billion.
That's all I have to say about that.